Hello and welcome. This is Speaking with Judgment, hosted by Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time viewing the channel or seeing me on TikTok, welcome, like, follow, and subscribe. After a decade of dominance and greatness, the Warriors dynasty is officially over. We can say that now about the Golden State Warriors. The playoff run is over. I feared for what this Warriors team would have looked like with Steph Curry out. In time, we found out just how bad the supporting cast for Steph is. It is not a good Warriors team without Steph. Poor effort, terrible execution, putrid defense, bad closeouts. The whole team looked awful without him. And look, this team was done as soon as Steph went out with his injury. What can you do? You lost your star and they played lousy. It was frustrating to watch for anybody who supported that Warriors team. I worried for them because I said when Curry suffered that hamstring injury, that you can't overcome the loss of your superstar. It was over without him. The absence of Steph Curry was just too much to overcome. So you had to fear that because Steph is the engine that drives the Golden State Ferrari. The heart and soul of that Warriors team, as always, is Steph Curry. And just how much Curry could have dominated and how far he could have taken Golden State will forever be a mystery. We can't really say because he wasn't healthy enough to give it a go. It's a shame when we've seen him countless times single-handedly swing a series or change the outcome of a series because of his brilliance. Without Curry, the Warriors didn't have enough. Yeah, look, Golden State's nothing without Steph. What can I say? The Warriors are done, eliminated by Minnesota, Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler. It's over. This time has come. Great run, but it's officially over. And as their core ages and the Western Conference rivals strengthen, it's time to accept that their championship window has rapidly closed. Eventually, this run was going to come to an end. Eventually, this run was going to end for them. As they say, nothing lasts forever. All great things must come to an end. The reality of the roster set in once Steph got hurt. Now, on to the offseason. After the Warriors season ends in Minnesota, there's a real basketball question with the Warriors. Not only what moves can be made to improve the team or what additions need to be made around Steph, but also what's left of Steph. How much more competitive juice can you squeeze out of him? I think we all at least took note and realized and knew that the Warriors wouldn't be a championship team. I thought of them as a dark horse only because when Steph is on the floor, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat them. And it's hard to bet against him because of what he can do on the court. And given his shot-making abilities, his marksmanship, and clutch performances, how he has single-handedly taken over basketball games and swung series with his unbelievable late game shots and dramatic takeovers, there was always that possibility that once in the playoffs, anything can happen. Either way, this now feels like an unceremonious exit for the Golden State Warriors. So why don't we talk more about this possibly being the end of a dynasty because it looks that way, even with Jimmy Butler on the team. A butler needs a chef, vice versa. A chef always needs his butler. The butler couldn't serve if the chef wasn't cooking. And since the Jimmy Butler trade, he has been able to serve them. But when Curry went out, which was a devastating blow, Jimmy's service came to an end. Every Batman needs a Robin, but when Batman needed Robin to step up, in his absence, Robin wasn't able to put his cape on. When Batman was tied up and needed to be saved, who did they turn to and call to come to Batman's rescue? This is exactly what Jimmy Butler's role was, to portray Steph's sidekick. I have heard and I have said Jimmy Butler wouldn't change their fortune, and if one guy would single-handedly carry the Warriors, it would be no one other than Steph Curry. I also said that Draymond Green was the most important player on the team. Now, Draymond doesn't impact winning at the rate Steph does, but Draymond impacted Game 4 where he set the tone both offensively and defensively. When he's on the floor, he provides an edge and an energy that the other players on the team do not. But Steph got injured in this series, and it completely changed the trajectory of not just what this season looks like for the Warriors next year, but beyond next year. If you're that reliant on an older player, you're not a serious contender. And because of the timing and the nature of that injury, you really don't know what this team could have done. All you really had to do was look at the box score and see that Golden State was tired. Injuries are part of the game, and it's the next man up when your main guy goes out. Well, what if Steph was healthy? Either way, that title window is rapidly closing. You really got to think, going forward, what do the Warriors look like? We got a good look of what this team is like without Steph. Now you got questions. Do the Warriors get into the Giannis sweepstakes? Are you going to pursue a big name next season and pair him up with Steph and try to make another run? It's the oldest interesting team in the league, and it's about to be a busy offseason for Mike Dunleavy Jr. Minnesota was much deeper, much bigger, and they prevailed pretty easily over an older, exhausted, short-handed Warriors team. The Wolves shot 63%, dominated in the paint, had almost double the assists. They were moving very well. The three best Warriors, Butler, Draymond, and Steph, are past their primes. Age was a factor. There's no world in which you're going to be able to compete at a high level with an aging roster. They're getting older, not any younger. Minnesota bullied the Wolves. Julius Randle, the former Laker and Knick, 13 of 8, physical ball. Curry's hamstring popped, and that was that. Jimmy Butler was really a no-show, never really stepped up in Steph's absence, and only took 11 shots in the elimination game. It's interesting, Jonathan Kuminga, who I don't think fits well with the Warriors, he was actually better with Steph gone. He was fantastic and raised his market value. I come to this understanding that the Steph offense, that style of offense, is just not friendly to young players. He was the one guy in Steph's absence who increased his production level. Still not good enough, obviously. You were like, oh man, he can actually match up well with Minnesota's athletic bigs. Pods is a guy the Warriors have to keep. But you're going to have to move off some of these young guys. The one guy they're moving off of is probably Jonathan Kuminga. They're keeping Pods because he's an emerging shooter. He's a guy who works well playing alongside Curry. I say the Warriors got to rebuild. They need a full overhaul of this roster. The Warriors are just getting older and got to get younger. Need more scorers. The lack of players unable to space the floor was a major flaw. Too many shooters who were not threats. And Curry being gone made the roster look incompetent. Injuries have been a major part of this postseason. And keep in mind, a part of that is because the NBA is allowing more physical basketball. That unfortunately means more injuries. And I really do believe this series could have played out differently had Steph been healthy to play. To get back to championship form, they need to make some significant changes. They need to add shooting and ball penetration. They need to get bigger and more athletic. That's a lot. Busy offseason. Every move they make this offseason should be directed at addressing all that. All right, everyone. That's all I have for you. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. You guys are the people that make this possible. So I want to thank you for that. That means a lot. That means the world when you guys check out the content. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day, investing time in this. Really appreciate it. But we'll talk again soon. I'm getting out of here now. You guys enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave your comments in the comment section. Please hit me back. And before I get out of here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like this video. We'll talk again soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.